Good morning. We are reveling in the co-creation at its best moment in time. Co-creation at its best. We are extremely pleased that you are here to play with us and to take thought beyond what it has been before. You like that? It's nice to stand in a solid place of understanding, isn't it? And even more exhilarating when from that basis of stability and balance, new insights come, new life comes, new purpose comes, new energy moves. It's why you are here in these physical bodies. Not one of you said, I want to go into the time-space reality of planet Earth and fix broken things. None of you said that. Because from your vantage point, as you made the decision to focus here, you knew it wasn't broken, it was thriving and is. You knew that there would be variety and contrast that would inspire you with great clarity to more desire. And you understood then that that desire is the summoning point of life, of energy. And with great deliberate intention, you focused yourself here. Once you get here, sometimes it's easy to lose that sense of clarity because the contrast that you knew would serve you overwhelms you. Sometimes the contrast feels too much in any moment in time, and so that's why we enjoy so much coming together like this, because together we can collectively smooth things out, reconnect with who you really are, re-stabilize with the wholeness of who you are, re-identify who you are, help you to remember who you are and why you're here, for the purpose of off you go into the reason you came. And the reason you came is because it's way fun to be here. The reason you came is because life is eternal. You can't cease to be. And focusing in an environment like this is just the best of all life, where contrast inspires you to your personal and important perspective and desire. And then the larger part of you joins you in that decision that you continually make. Sometimes you forget that too. Sometimes you forget that you are leading edge creation. You forget that the variety that you are focused within will inspire or stimulate within you new ideas. And that right there is at the heart of the evolution of everything, of all species, of all understanding, of all knowledge, of all beingness, of all that is. You are on the leading edge of the expansion of all that is. Can you catch a little piece of the appreciation that Source feels for you, for your willingness to be in this role of experiencing variety and coming to your own important decisions and conclusions and desires? So here we are together. You are so much more than you see in these physical clumps sitting on these physical chairs. You are source energy, and sometimes that source energy part of you, from your perspective, takes a back seat. We want it to take a co-equal seat. In other words, we want you to understand the perfect balance between you, who come forth and explore and decide, and those like us, like your inner beings, who remain non-physically focused and not distracted by the contrast. We stand as the beneficiaries of the contrast that you sometimes are distracted by. So when your life helps you to know what you don't want and therefore helps you to know what you do want, long before you are able to articulate the specifics of what you want, You've been launching rockets of desires in the form of preferences that have given your inner beings points of attention to focus upon. And that matters so much because we all live, whether physically focused or non-physically focused, in an environment of vibration. And this environment of vibration is managed by the law of attraction, which simply means that vibrational frequencies that are same join. And that's what causes momentum. That's what causes more. So an easy way to say that is you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. Because your attention to a subject will cause momentum to happen. The difference between you in your physical form and the non-physical you, the inner being part of you, is that when contrast causes you to launch a rocket of desire, your inner being then gives undivided attention to the desire, while often, more often than you want to be the case, you stay focused on the reason for the desire. You tend to, as humans, because you've clustered together and confused each other, you tend to want to justify why you want that by pointing out how awful it is or how unfair it is to be experiencing something less than what you want. So you sometimes, without meaning to, hold yourself in a sort of defensive, justifying, pushing against what you don't want position, and your inner being never does. So what happens at the very beginning of you doing what you came to do, which is identifying what you want, at the very beginning of that identification, it's possible, in fact, really probable, in fact, you do it all the time, for you to split your energy because you've asked for something that you're not focused on. You still are asking. It's sort of like when you want your kids to take the garbage can to the curb and they don't do it, you keep asking them to do it because you believe that if you don't keep harping about it, that they're not going to do it. You don't trust your first request. Your children have served you not well by being so stubborn, because now you treat everybody that way. You don't sometimes believe that because you've asked it is given. Someone should write a compelling book about that. When life causes you to ask, it is given. It is a vibrational certainty. But because you're not used to seeing yourselves or understanding yourselves as vibrational beings, you don't realize that when you ask with your vibration, it is given vibrationally. But we get it. You're physical beings who translate so magnificently through your physical senses this reality into being. You see, you hear, you smell, you taste, you touch. That's the reality that you have come to rely on. And so a vibrational reality that you are in the process of creating doesn't really ring your bells, but we want it to. You don't get excited about something until you see it. And once you see it, it's old news. Once you see it, your ability to modify it is hampered by what it already is. We want you to free yourself from the bondage of what is. If you are really observant of what is what you're offering mostly vibrationally. And so you just keep regurgitating what is. Different faces, different places, different spaces, but same theme. Sort of like what you see in the movies. There are only 4 plots. We so adore chewing with you and helping you to remember that step 1 of your intention for being here is that the contrast will cause you to identify a desire. Step 1, ask. Step 2 is, once you've identified that desire, your inner being focuses unequivocally, with no dilution and no equivocation, upon your desire. No defensiveness, no explaining, just purely upon what you want. And since the law of attraction is responding to both the physically focused you and the non-physically focused you, there is a potential, in fact, it's a sure thing with almost every one of you, that there's going to be splits in your energy from time to time, really often. because of what you're focused upon and the difference between what you're focused upon and what your inner being is focused upon. It would be like having a friend who believes in your ability. And so, from a place of not having something that you want, you speak that you want it. And your friend just goes right to, in his mind, a vivid picture of what you want. And sees that picture so clearly that your friend can't even see where you stand in relationship to it. It's like you want it and it's done, and your friend revels in your success. And you say, wait a minute, you dummy. I don't have that success yet. And your friend said, yes, you do. And you say, no, look at my bank statement. Look at my credit card limit. Look at where I am. And your wise friend says, why? You told me who you really are and what you really want. That's where I look. And most of you would then spend some time trying to get your friend to come back to reality. But your inner being, who is your friend, will never do that. So your inner being doesn't just believe, your inner being knows who you are. But when you don't know, now you've got some contradiction in your energy, which translates to you as negative emotion. That's what negative emotion is. It's the disagreement that you have with your inner being about whatever you're focused upon when you feel the negative emotion. That's all. So, step 1 is you ask. Step 2 is source focuses toward what you've asked for. Step 3 is you want to use your emotional guidance system to help you get better and better and better at agreeing with your inner being about who you really are. Of looking in the direction of what you are now creating, not looking in the direction of what you have created before. And we want you to understand this past, present, and future conversation, because past and present, as you understand them to be, from your inner being's point of view, are all past. You say it's now, your inner being says it's past. Because what has manifested is old news. What is manifesting is what your inner being is focused upon. The energy that is flowing now, the dynamics of the energy that flow now are all that matters. And when you are a deliberate creation, you get your eye, you get your emotions, you get your awareness on your guidance system of what is flowing now. What is the direction of who you are becoming? Because, oh, friends, you are eternal beings. You might as well get used to reaching for more than has manifested. There's always going to be stuff in the process. But as humans, you want the stuff that's in the process to be out in the open where you and everybody else can see it and agree upon it, which is what slows you way, 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 way down, because you don't revel in the process. You say things, but you don't mean it. You've coined a phrase as humans, the joy is in the journey. But you don't mean it. What you mean is, I'm willing to go through the sucky journey in order to get a manifestation that I really want. And when the manifestation that I really want comes, then I will be happy. But in the meantime, I'm just going to fake it. And we say, you can't fake it because the law of attraction knows your game. The law of attraction is taking you at your vibrational offering.